Oh, where's my case? Oh, I am never ready. Peace, greetings, greetings, greetings. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Peace, shorty. Y'all, you following me? Peace, 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 peace. Greetings. Hey, y'all. Hey. Yay, King Chaz. I'm so excited for you. I act like I'm living through you. I'm living vicariously through you. That's something I always wanted to do is move to New York. So I'm gonna live vicariously through you. Live it up for me. Live it up for me, okay? Yay! Ashe. Peace, 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 everyone. Okay, so I wanted to kind of, since I made a post about divination, I wanted to get in here and talk about divination. I wanted to get on here and like just do some really quick tools and tips when it comes to divination. All right. Um, a lot of people are doing this right now. So divination and oracle tarot readings have become very popular. I love you, absolutely love you too, Chaz. Um, Popular. And sometimes we jump into it and not really understand all the dynamics and different things. So this will probably be maybe a two-part video. I'm only doing one tonight, but I'll do maybe another one tomorrow. I look, oh, thank you, Sammy. I appreciate that. I feel fresh. I feel fresh. Um, so let's get into this whole conversation. One of the things that I always tell people is, let me see, hold on. Let's say you just get in your box. I'm gonna pretend like I'm just opening my box. I got my box in the mail. I don't order, or I picked up my cards in a store, and I've ordered it. Now, this is what I do with all my personal stuff. I don't care where it came from, who it came from. The first thing I do when I take the plastic off is, hold on. Why is it anytime that I need my lighter, it's not here? Okay, so we're gonna pretend like this lit. So the first thing that I do is I'm going to sage, like whatever I'm bringing into my space. That's the first thing I do. I'm gonna sage this box because 9 times out of 10 I keep all my boxes if I don't have a case for it. And I'm gonna show you my other case. So there's 3 ways that you can keep your cards away from everything. Yep, shot of honey. So there's 3 ways that you can keep them and house them, but I'll get into that later. So the first thing I'm gonna do while they're still in the box, I'm gonna sage it. I'm gonna speak intentions into it. I'm gonna speak life into it. I'm gonna ask for any negative energy from the people who made the cards, where the place came from. Like I need all intentions, like I need all energy removed. And the only thing that I'm gonna do is, speak life into what I want. I always use the blue sage when I am doing my cards in particular because it promotes abundance and it promotes success and all kinds of different things. Outside of cleansing the cards, it also promotes good energy and putting positive energy. Or you could do Palo Santo. Okay, you can take your Palo Santo, remove all the energy out of your cards. So like I said, the first thing I do when I'm doing divination, if I'm getting a new deck, boom, I'm going to cleanse the energy off of it. So then you're going to open it up. I'm going to do the same thing again with my cards and my books. Normally I do it separate, but I'm going to just do it for sake of camera and time. Let's just go ahead and cleanse everything off of it. Remove all the energy. Speak life. Speak intention. Speak what you want these cards to do. If it's to give you guided clarity, to give you clarity from the ancestors and the spirit guides, to give you guidance, then you want to cleanse the energy off of it and do whatever. A lot of times in your books, they will tell you different ways that they suggest to cleanse it. You create whatever ritual that you want to create and do that. Now, when I set up to do my actual pulls, there's a couple of different dynamics that I go with, okay? I always get a white cloth, especially for my first read on those cards. I get a white cloth. for me, it's always something that is connected to an ancestor that has transitioned. So I always have like a lace cloth that is either from my grandmother or my great grandmother, something that they used to use a lot, and I will open it up. Or you know how, I don't know if this is everywhere, but I know in the South, like the women in the church used to have those little white handkerchiefs. I used to like pull that out and put that on the floor, and I'm going to bring out my elements. What are my elements? So you're going to have a glass of water. So we're going to pretend that I got all of this, because this is a little impromptu. So I might have something, and I'm so Oshun, so I'm going to always have something that look real pretty. So I'll either have like a wine glass that's crystalled out or something really gorgeous. I'm also going to have this. It's better. That's a tricky one. I can honestly say, to me, it's better if someone gifts you your first deck, like your first set of cards. But in the day and age that we in, everybody is buying theirs now. And you might not even be around people who actually work in that type of, energy. So it's better normally if someone gifts it to you, and then it just sticks with ritual. It sticks with what has been before, everybody else, this new age shit. But my first set was gifted to me. I'm not going to lie. My first set was gifted to me when I was 20. So it just depends. Okay. Cause like, once again, you might not even be in an environment that somebody is able to gift it to you. All right. So back to the 4 elements, having something that you can put water in. All right. You want to have your water. You can use a feather. I always have feathers around me everywhere. I always either use a peacock feather or, it's normally a peacock feather for me. I have another feather that I call my Mayat feather. So you can have any type of feather. So your feather is representing air. If you don't want to have a feather, you can use incense. That'll do the same thing. It represents air. Okay. And I place all of these. I wish I had a way to kind of show y'all this. So we're going to pretend like this is my white cloth. So I place every item in my 4 corners. So like if I have water here, then I'm going to have like whatever, a feather here. And then I would have fire. So my candle, whatever candle that you're going to burn. I don't, waver on that. I always have a candle. Even when I'm doing live readings, I always light a candle. Okay, because I pay attention to the flickering. I pay attention to what my ancestors are saying to me through that candle. The spirits are saying to me. So definitely candle, water, feather, and now the earth part. That can be so many different things. It could be your crystals. I have a lot of crystals that I have around me. Okay, so I normally always have tourmaline. I always have a protection stone. I always have a clear quartz around me, something that's going to intensify. I always have a rose quartz. So those 3 are always around me. Depending on what type of reading, when I'm going to read at like somebody's establishment, then I always have like pyrite or something that represents, or citrine, something that represents abundance. If I am doing it, like in my personal space, it's normally just those 3. I normally, unless it's something that I know I'm reading on specifically, then that's what I will do. Okay. So white cloth and your 4 elements. And then normally if you're working with 5, that's the, the ether. That's spirit. That's us, your spirit. Okay. I'm trying to look and see. The other thing that I always take with me, and it's not this one in particular, this is the one that my babies bought me. But I always have a bell. Okay. I always have a bell to, notify the ancestors and the spirit guides that I am opening up to receive their messages, to, ask them to come in. I'm always taking one of my bells. I have like a couple, and I put that somewhere on that mat as well. Okay. So once I got everything set up, this is what I typically do. I sage my space. I've already probably saged my space 100 times, especially if it's somebody new. Like if I'm going to a location, I will sage that area. I always have my spray. This one actually say chakra spray, but I always have a like some sort of anointed spray that is in my hand that I wipe everything down. So I will go through and spray everything, get a cloth. I normally always carry like a white rag and wipe everything down, okay, before I even put all that stuff down. Then I put my stuff down. And what do? I get my whatchamacallit and spray my hands. I might have patchouli. I use a lot of patchouli oil when I'm doing work. If I am in a new space, I use frankincense. So you got to pay attention to what oils are going to correspond with whatever energy you wanting to bring in. So for me, it's frankincense for the spiritual perspective. If I'm doing patchouli, I'm already been working in spirit a lot that day. So I'll normally get my patchouli to kind of ground me just a little more because I might be feeling a little flighty. That's the only word I could think of. When I'm working in spirit a lot that day, I definitely always carry like either sandalwood or patchouli or something that an earthy scent that's going to ground me because I don't like being all over the place. Am I able to describe for beginners how to cleanse the house? I might not catch it on this video, but I will do that on another video. I can do that next video. Okay. So once I've gotten everything laid out, we got our elements, we got our card sage, got our candle lit. I'm trying to figure out what cards I'm using. Okay. So then I will do a basic reading for myself, okay? So I can get used to the cards that I'm using. Yes, incense can be used for your air element. It doesn't have to be a feather. I'm just drawn to feathers. I always have been. I did a whole jewelry collection with feathers. So I've always been into feathers. I know that it's probably really connected to my my ancestors, and that's why I'm into feathers so much. Okay. And any other little trinket that you might want to have on your space. So anything that you feel connected to from an ancestral perspective, I always have that on that space as well. Okay. So now let's get into your cards. So for me, I always shuffle like this, like your regular, I don't know what type of shuffle to call it, but I will shuffle like that. And then I always, after I shuffle, I normally try to shuffle it 3 times. I'll hit it on my hand 3 times to clear the energy again. So I'm real intentional. And then I will go back to shuffling however I want to pull my cards. Now, this part, everybody does different, okay? And we're just going to teach this from a 3-card perspective, okay? We're just going to say this is if you were doing a 3-card spread. What is a 3-card spread? 3-card spread is the first card is your past. The second card is your present. And the third card is your future. So when you're asking the question and saying this is what you should, have just went through, this is connected to the past energy. That middle card is the present, what you're going through now, what you should be expecting to happen. And then that third card is what you should, the outcome or what you should see coming in the future within a 30-day cycle. All right. So when I do mine, I'm going to try to do this where the camera can catch it. When I do mine, I always look for the card that's sticking up. I think because I'm trying to do this a certain way without. So whatever's sticking up is what, or whatever fly out the deck, that's the cards that I pull. And that's what. Okay. Ashe. All right. I always just figure out what is the first card that I want to pull out. That's what would normally, any of my spreads, I don't care what type of spread I'm doing, I'm going to do this until I see what cards seem like they just want to come out, what other card just want to stick out. So I normally do mine like that. You don't have to do it like that. Some people will do the shuffle. You ask your question. You think about the energy. You can say a little prayer or a little intentional thing. I used to, and I still do. I'll go to a lekba and ask him for guidance to open up the gateway of communication to my ancestors and my spirit guides in order for me to get a clear message for the person that is sitting across from me, or a clear message for myself. Okay, so I normally keep it real simple and real sweet, and I'll say ashe or thank you or whatever it is that I need. Okay. So you can say something, figure out something that is going to be easy for you to remember and very intentional and connected to your heart space. So it's not something that just feel like you overthinking. You want to make sure it's connected to your heart space. You want to make sure that it's very easy to remember. So you can be very genuine about what you're saying. Okay. So see how that, I don't know if y'all saw that. That card just flew out. So trust came up. So the first card was friendship. I might have should have left that card out. And then the second card was trust. All right. So that would be where your present card is. And then balance and denial. So if 2 or more cards come out, keep it. Just because I said it's a 3 card, whatever cards is coming out, you might. Now, if it's like 6 cards, let's say you shuffling and damn 6 cards come out. This is what I typically do. Let's say I'm shuffling and a bunch of damn cards just like, okay, it ain't gonna do it now, but let's just say all of these cards came out and they fell on the ground. I would actually either look at the cards and just take a mental note, maybe take a picture of it, sit it to the side so I can remember what these cards are, and then put them back in, or I'll sit them to the side and I'll go back at the end of my reading when I do all my regular cards. I'll shuffle these to see what come out and see how they fit in the message. If they don't, they seem like they just random as hell and you might have just dropped them because you dropped them because you were, clumsy while you were shuffling, then let that be. Okay. I feel like the easiest, don't get too complicated with your pulls. Don't get too complicated with your questions sometimes. Especially if you're starting out. Just kind of keep it real simple where you can like really just get a feel for these. The other thing that I do, I don't have my little, do I? I normally take the cards once they are out of the box. And I'll either put them in some sort of satchel, or I like to wrap mine. Like I said, I'm very intentional and maybe nostalgic. So I like to wrap my cards in an actual cloth that I have that I was given, I made for my very first set. I will wrap them. I will keep them under my pillow. I will keep them under my bed. I keep them close to me because I want my intentions in the cards. I want my energy in the card. I want to make sure that I honestly get on people because I say you don't need but one set. Okay. That first year or first 6 months, use one set. I know it's 1,000,001, and then you got people like me that be having like all these amazing cards online. Don't get caught up in the hype. If you want to be really intentional and you really want to learn this for real and be connected to what it has to offer you, get you one, buy one. Figure out which one calls to you. If you're lucky, somebody will gift you a set. Okay. But figure out which one calls to you. Work with that one for a very long time. Be very intentional. Set your intention, like set your energy in these cards. Love on your cards. Sometimes you ain't even pulling. There are plenty of times, I'm going to use my personal ones. There are plenty of times that I will be having a whole lot of conversation with somebody, but I will be sitting there just doing this. Okay? I would just sit there and just shuffle. I'm not even doing no pull, but I might just sit there and be doing this because I want all my energy into these cards. Okay, so these are the ones that y'all see me use all the time. I use these for all my live readings, and I use them for like my personal ones. So I would just sit there. I carry them everywhere I go. Literally, we could be going out to eat, and I got these cards in my purse. I do. So I carry them everywhere I go so I can set my intentions and my energy. And I get to the point where if I pull a card, boom, I already know without looking at the book. Okay. And that's what I really want y'all to like if you're getting into divination, even if it's for yourself, you should be at the point where I love oracle sets because it's pretty easy to read. Okay, it's real easy to read. It's real easy for you to break down the information. But if it is like these, okay, so then you got these, which is my cat people deck. I love these too, but I don't use them as much. Some you might recognize them because of just, you know, general knowledge. But some cards you might not. I'm trying to find one that you might not. Okay, we're going to use that one. So you might not know what the meaning of this card is, but that's the whole point. Get this one, master this one. So by the time you have mastered it and you decide to buy another set, you have already mastered this one. You already know, like, I can do these with my eyes closed. I already know what this card feel like. You will already know what the card feel like, okay? So don't get caught up in the hype. Don't get sucked in because this metaphysical, spiritual realm will make you spend a whole lot of money on a bunch of shit that y'all don't need, okay? It will make you spend money on like you don't have to. And as much as I like for y'all to spend y'all money with me, and I co-sign y'all shopping with sheismagic.com, I still want you to be smart with how you're spending your money and make sure that you are getting tools that you can use. That's going to be useful. All right. It got to be useful. So let's say after you finish. All right. Okay. After you finish, I done finished, you know, doing my divination. I always suggest, especially when you're starting out, to have a notebook. So let me show you my little, well, I got so many little books everywhere. Hold on, I'm going to show y'all two things. Okay. So I have, like, it's funny. I've had this, it's looking real crazy, since I started. All right. Since I started doing this whole spiritual journey, that's why it's looking like it's about to fall apart. I've had this my whole journey. It is full. I done wrote on it front and back. This is when I was with the Nation of Guys of Erica. Look, one of the guys' information, Master Power Allah, is in the back of here. Okay, so it's real old. But when I first started doing my readings, I would start by like putting all the information in. Okay, whatever cards that I got, how to break it down. Even when I started dealing with the actual set that I'm talking about, it's got like my actual I Ching reading for it. It's got what actually came up for my daughters. This is actually their reading with their actual, hold on just a second. Hey, look at me. Okay, go. It's got, the I Ching and their actual incarnation objective. And it's crazy because when I went to go back and pull my daughter's like something she was going through, and I went back and looked at her incarnation objective that I did when she was like 1 or 2. Crazy. Like the stuff that she's going through right now, it's very... if I would have went back then when she told me she was going into the military, I would have sat there and been like, that's not the move you want to make because it's going to be destructive to who you are. I should have known that. This is my other one that I write everything in. So it's really big and it's got like actual spreads. Hold on, I want to show y'all. Of course, because I'm asking, I want to show y'all the spread. It's like, oh no, it's not in here. Either way, it actually shows you an actual spread that you can do in here to help you plan and navigate your year. Okay. What's the name of the book? This book, that mommy moment, y'all getting on me. This book was Matuna Tear. So this is the actual oracle system. So I still keep mine in a case. And this is what I was talking about. You have several ways that you can keep it. I'm normally, it need to be clean. Okay, don't judge me. It need to be clean. But this is my case that my first set came in. Okay, so I've always kept that. I might bury or do other stuff like, I've, sent some in the water, all of that stuff. But yes, Queen of Hearts. So this was my first set. Okay. Y'all gonna see how. So and if you know anything about cards, you see how like they definitely were well used. They have been well used. Okay. It has all the comedic signs and symbols on there. These you do a little bit differently or whatnot, and I will get in there. I might do a whole video on just this. But they also have the information on how to break this down as far as the readings that you get. So, going back to casing, when you close them, you finish, and now you write down. Please start, like, when you first start doing your readings, write it down. Okay? Write it down. Write the question that you asked. Like, if you look in the top, this book, the book says, what was Angel Ayana incarnation objective? That's my daughter. What was Imani's incarnation objective? So it was Heskavin. What is her? Basically, what's her? So I wrote the question down, received the answer, and then had the I Ching breakdown for it as well. Okay. Same thing in your notebooks. It should be, let's ask the question, write it down in whatever book you have. Okay. Write down what is the question that you asked, what cards you pulled up, break down the meaning of the cards, because that's going to help you learn. A lot of this journey is about getting into almost like a scholar type mindset. No matter what it is, you want to get into a space where you're saying, how am I committing this to memory, but knowing the information? Okay, so I can identify with the information. If you do it this way, at least for, I ain't gonna say 6 months, but I honestly feel like you should, at least for 6 months. That way you will really thoroughly know. And then let's say you question something, you be like, dang, that reading is familiar. You can kind of go back in your notes and say, this happened on July 21st. Da, 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 da. Okay, so that's really what the whole point of this. You got to think about, sometimes you need to write it, you need to see it, you need to do it, you need to use all the skills that are available in order for this to be a part of who you are, not just getting these cards because they pretty. Okay, I get it. I got some pretty cards. Listen to me. I got some pretty cards in here that I don't really even use like that. But don't just get these because they look good. You know, they shiny. Get them because you really want to know and want to have a great understanding about divination and oracle readings and how you are being guided. I do pull for myself every morning. Like after I do my meditation, I do my yoga, my workout, whatever it is. The next thing that I do, I come and sit down with my bottle of water and I do my pull for the day, just to see what the overall energy is for the day, things that I need to pay attention to, things that I might need to take note of. And like I said, for me, it's always either with the set that I first got, or I always do it with the cards that are my favorite. And these were gifted to me too, oddly enough, now I think about it. This was a barter and trade situation. So it's a lot that you can do and get into when it comes to that. If you don't have like a special case for your cards, you can always still keep them in the case that they come in, the boxes that they come in. Some of these come in really, really nice boxes. So you can always keep them in the box. Hold on, I'm going to show you one that comes with my shaman cards. So like, I like my shaman cards because they come in like this like nice little thing, and I think I done. It used to be like this really pretty ribbon under here that you could pop the deck out, but don't judge me. Sometimes I'm a little rough. But, so I keep these in the boxes. Some of my cards I keep in the boxes. Some of them, this is probably the only one that I bought a special case for. Just because it's important to me. And I don't want those to get messed up or lost. And I don't like people touching my cards. So, those are the ones that I make sure that nobody, I don't even carry them in my actual case of cards. I always keep them on my altar. So they're one of my more sacred pieces of what I do. Cleanse your place up. Don't blow your candle out. Take your, like I have several snuffers, but you can use your snuffer, snuff the flame out. If you don't have one of these little pretty things, you can get your sage and just snuff the flame out, okay? Always snuff your flame out. Don't just blow it out, okay? If you real daring, you could just take your fingers and snuff the flame out, but I ain't doing that. I don't like fire that much. All right. Anybody got a question that I kind of like? That's just like a quick boom. Is it necessary to use the booklet if it's a tarot deck? Or is it, hold on. That was a long question. It's not letting me pull up the question, Pooh. Hold on. Interpretations. I'm assuming as you said interpretations. Oh, there we go. Okay, so Goddess asked a good question. Goddess Kristen asked, do you have to use the book? I don't know how to close this back off. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, do we have to use a book or can you use your interpretation? That's why I want you to get to know. This is what I suggest. When you get your cards, learn them from what the book is telling you. But this is the whole key. I'm glad you asked me that. Also learn how to break down the card yourself. So not only just what the interpretation is, okay, not only what the interpretation is, but you also want to take your time and pay attention to all the details. Pay attention. What does this card make you feel like? Okay. What is the energy of the card? Because a lot of times, especially with this particular set, I know what the basic information or definition for that particular card, but I am very intuitive. So I definitely make sure I listen to my intuition and what is it saying to me when it's coming up in a reading. Okay. Tarot can be trickier because tarot is about symbolism. Okay. Tarot, it has a lot of symbolism that does not correspond to how we as African Americans deal with stuff. I'm just putting it out there. That's a whole nother video. So like I will sit there and pay attention to the other details. Like the color, the fact that this is white and this is a darker color. Okay. That this represents a scale. Like I'll pay attention to all the things that is being highlighted by the sun. Pay attention to all the energy in the card. So you can be very intuitive with your reading. That's the whole point of the intuitive readings are way better than somebody just pulling a card out and saying, oh, you got, no. What is Spirit telling you? Because Spirit is always talking. Always. All right. But that's why I go back and says, that's why I always go back and say, hey, study. Stay with your cards for a very long time. Don't buy 2, 3, 4 sets of cards and you haven't even learned the first set. This is the little red one. It's not for sale. This is the little red one. This is the one that I told you, the sister that transitioned in Texas. Her mother gave me like a few of these, so I gifted them out to a few people. I let people get them for like a really, I think I gave one of the tribe members I know on here bought mine for like $20, $25, and it's like literally a $70-some set of cards. They really should be more than that, because the sister that actually owned the metaphysical shop has transitioned and she's no longer with us. So I just feel like the energy is more special. All right. Wondering, how do I do my readings? I do them different ways. I definitely like the tips that I suggested. Make sure y'all drink a lot of water. I always keep a thing of water beside me while I'm doing readings. I always make sure I have certain oils to help me stay in a certain space. I make sure that I always take a spiritual bath after I do any readings. I don't care who it's for. Or I cleanse my energy, a spiritual shower if I can't take a spiritual bath. I rest. A lot of times, especially if I'm doing readings for a shop, I will go and make sure I take my spiritual bath, and I sleep a lot, and I drink like a gallon of water. I ain't gonna lie. I drink a lot of water. He's so loud. So loud. It's really a ritual. So you have to be in a space like I definitely make a ritual of before I'm doing readings, so I get my whole physical self into the space. I'm in a my morning rituals is a ritual. Like, anyway, me getting ready is normally a ritual. Like, I'm lighting candles, I'm burning stuff, I'm having crystals set out. I always have my rose quartz surrounded by everything that I'm doing. So it's a ritual within itself. And then I am preparing. If I'm knowing I'm going to do readings, I'm centering myself, putting myself in the space of being receptive to spirit. So then when I actually sit down to do my readings, then I'm good. My energy good. Then you want to cleanse that energy out. Why not blow your candles out? I only do, okay, there's two questions. So let me address not blow your candles out. They always say that you don't blow your candles out because you're blowing away whatever it is that you're setting their intentions for. So I just make it a habit of not blowing none of my candles out. Okay. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's just the candle. Well, most of the time I'm lighting candles is for ritual work or altar work or something that I'm doing that's spiritual. And I know I'm setting intentions. I'm asking for guidance. I'm asking for certain dynamics to come in. So I'm going to always snuff that flame out. Okay. Snuffing the flame means that it keeps your intentions here. It keeps everything here with you. If you blow it out, that means you're blowing it away. You're blowing it away from you. So try to always snuff it out. If you don't, it's okay. The more you know. Somebody else asked me one more question. Then I gotta go so I can eat. I don't like to use tarot. I only do divination and oracles. So this is a divination that is it has a lot of different dynamics that go on with this. It has the elements in here. It has numerology in here. It also has EFI correspondings in here. So this is my favorite probably of all. I will probably be using this until it fall apart. I ain't gonna lie. So I specifically like to only work with oracle readings, crystal readings, or divination cards. I even do cowrie shells for certain people, bone readings. I do all of that, pendulum work. You have to figure out which one works best for you, which one you like better. I personally don't feel like if you're melanated, you should be doing tarot. That's just my personal opinion. Okay. I feel like y'all should, if you're going to get into any of it, you need to do the research and the origin, where it originates from. Okay. Where is it originating from? And what, like with tarot, like I've said this many, many, many times, there's a lot of symbolism that didn't originate from us. That it means something specific for another culture and another dynamic. So you need to really be mindful of what you are feeding your subconscious. So I think that's really important for you to pay attention and what symbols mean what. Okay. That's just me. So I try to, I pretty much stick with, like I said, y'all will see me using stuff that I know that the artist was very intentional and that she was coming from a certain perspective. Okay. All right, beloveds, let me go so I can eat because I already done passed my time to eat, and now I'm pushing it because I got 15 minutes to get all this food in. To get this eggplant. I've been eating eggplant all day today. I don't know what that's about. I had eggplant tacos. I just go left. I had some eggplant tacos today. Whew. Okay, I just had a brief moment for the food. I love you. I love you. I love you. Tomorrow, I might go ahead and address the whole how to properly cleanse your house, because I do realize that that is really important, and things and tools that you can actually use to not only cleanse your house, but to set protection in your home and in your space, and things that you should have as symbolic to what you need to encourage and you know, bring out that inner goddess or inner God in you. All right. Peace, beloveds. I'll talk to you later.